Hi, my name is Ben and you're watching Batarang to the Butt, and this is the final part in my complete history of Maul series. If you've been enjoying this series, then thank you very much. I really do appreciate all of your support. Please continue to support me by leaving a like on this video. That's all it takes. If you haven't watched the first 4 parts, then be sure to go and do that before checking out this video. At some point in the future, I will be editing all 5 parts together. But in the meantime, let's get into it. During the reign of the Galactic Empire, the Emperor created a group of Imperial Inquisitors. The Inquisitors were a specialised squad of Force users tasked with bringing down any Jedi that may have survived Order 66. This also included Maul, although any of their attempts to bring him down were always unsuccessful. We know this because any time that we see Maul during this era, he wields a makeshift double lightsaber, which is clearly made from repurposed parts of an Inquisitor lightsaber. In 3 BBY, an Inquisitor tracks Maul to the ancient Sith planet Malachor, where Maul had once been trained to hate all of the Jedi. I touched on this way back in the first part of this series. Now that he has returned, he is looking for a legendary Sith holocron. In the Star Wars universe, holocrons are information storage devices, originally used by the Jedi and the Sith. They often contained a valuable lesson about the Force, which would be explained through holographic imagery, and most of them could only be accessed by Force users. Unfortunately, to access this particular holocron, Maul needs someone else with him. Because of the old Sith rule of 2, there must always be a master and an apprentice. Luckily, he encounters young Ezra Bridger, who had been separated from his band of rebels. Ezra accuses Maul of being a Sith, but in return, Maul explains that he is an enemy of the Sith. They took everything from him, which is good enough for Ezra, who agrees to help. They work together to traverse the temple, and finally they reach the holocron. At one point, Maul even saves Ezra's life, seemingly proving himself as a trustworthy ally. Soon after, Ezra is reunited with Ahsoka Tano and Kanan Jarrus, but they are quickly attacked by Inquisitors. Ezra's allies are both shocked when Maul steps out of the shadows. Ahsoka especially knows that Maul cannot be trusted, but they all must work together to defeat the Inquisitors.
The holocron. Do you have it?
You will find out soon enough.
Fall back!
Kanan, Ahsoka and Maul manage to fight off the Inquisitors, so Maul tries to convince them that they can continue to work together. After all, the main reason that Maul wants the holocron is to learn the information needed to defeat the Sith, thus taking down his old master. He points out that the rebels could use that information too, to potentially defeat Vader and the Emperor. In the end, Kanan and Ahsoka reluctantly agree to Maul's request. When they are attacked again, Maul sends Ezra forth on his own, but after this fight, Maul suddenly reveals his sinister intentions by striking Kanan with his lightsaber, permanently blinding the Jedi. Despite this, Kanan still manages to defeat Maul, using the Force to shove Maul off of the edge of the temple. This is probably for the best though, because soon Vader shows up and all hell breaks loose. Overall, Rebels probably isn't as good as Clone Wars, but when it is good, it's awesome. And this, the Season 2 finale, is a prime example of that. The next time we see Maul is several months later, when he takes the crew of the Ghost as hostage. He now wants both that Sith holocron from Malachor, but also the Jedi holocron, which he knows that the Rebels have. You see, if a Jedi and Sith holocron are opened together by a lightsider and a darksider, they would fuse together and be able to answer any question that the users desire. This is what Maul now wanted to achieve. Despite now fully understanding that the former Sith cannot be trusted, Ezra must work with him anyway, to protect his friends.
Well, my apprentice, what is your question?
You know what I want. I want to destroy the Sith.
You are as ambitious as ever.
Maul still sees Ezra as a potential apprentice, despite the fact that the young rebel wants nothing to do with him. Maul is no longer a Sith, but he does want his legacy to continue, which is why he had become rather obsessed with Ezra. He had seen potential in the boy. Together they combine and open the holocrons.
I see him.
Twin sons.
Ezra is almost overwhelmed by the power emanating from the combined holocrons, but Kanan manages to help him stick it out. Maul does not get all of the knowledge that he wanted, but he was able to discover something through the Force. Instead of facing the rebels again, he makes a quick getaway. Forget Ezra, forget the rebels, he has been given a renewed purpose. However, it turns out that the holocrons only revealed part of the vision to Maul, revealing the other half to Ezra. Neither of them had learnt all of the details. Realising that he has been too hasty, Maul tracks down Ezra once again. It turns out that ever since they opened the holocrons, the two had become linked through the Force, which meant that Ezra had begun having visions of Maul.
Ezra! Ezra!
Kanan, what's going on?
I don't know. Ezra, can you hear me?
Which is obviously not ideal. So when Maul offers to put an end to that connection while completing their visions, Ezra reluctantly agrees to join forces. Maul brings Ezra to his homeworld on Dathomir, where they must perform a magical Night Sister ritual. Also, despite Ezra's frustrations, Maul continues to insist upon the master-apprentice relationship. As they prepare, Maul also reveals that he is one of the last of his people. And we already know that the Night Sisters have all been wiped out, so Dathomir is all but abandoned. His home is full of relics from his past, including a shrine to what he feels is his greatest victory, a mural of Satine Kryze, the one-time love interest of his old rival Kenobi, a woman that Maul had murdered out of spiteful vengeance. He also still has the Darksaber, a weapon that he had not used since the Clone Wars. He now only keeps it as a reminder of when he almost had absolute power. Together they perform the ritual and successfully discover that Kenobi is still alive, and he is the key to defeating the Sith.
Of course, it ends where it began. A desert planet with twin suns.
Somehow, he had survived the Jedi Purge and he was now in hiding on a planet with twin suns. Suddenly, they are attacked by the spirits of the Night Sisters. He makes one last attempt at convincing Ezra to join him, but once again, Maul is turned down. So, he makes his escape, leaving Ezra and the rebels to deal with the ensuing chaos. And so, Maul goes to confront the Jedi Master one last time on Tatooine, the same planet where he had originally revealed himself all of those years ago. Ezra also knows that Kenobi is alive and has also tracked him down to Tatooine, not realising that Maul is already there on the hunt.
Kenobi!
Both struggle to find Kenobi, unaware of each other's presence on the planet. But after Ezra collapses in the desert, the Jedi Master reveals himself and steps in to help. When he regains consciousness, Ezra warns Master Kenobi of Maul. However, the Jedi is already aware of his old rival's presence. Ezra wants Kenobi to return with him to help with the rebellion, but Kenobi calmly explains that he is exactly where he needs to be. Ezra doesn't fully understand, but we know that Kenobi is on Tatooine to protect young Luke Skywalker. You see, the holocrons were right. One day Kenobi will help bring balance to the Force by training Luke Skywalker, Vader's secret child, to become a Jedi. For now though, Luke is not ready, so Kenobi watches him from afar. As Kenobi and Ezra wrap up their conversation, Maul arrives.
And now the only one who has gained anything from all of this is...
Me.
You must go now.
I led him to you. Let me make it right.
That is not your responsibility. I will mend this old wound.
Ezra leaves the pair so that they can engage in one final duel. It has been a long and twisted path to get here, but finally the rivalry is coming to an end.
Why come to this place? Not simply to hide.
Oh, you have a purpose here. Perhaps you are protecting something. No, protecting someone.
Kenobi begins using his traditional lightsaber stance. However, he quickly changes to that of his old fallen master, Qui-Gon Jinn. His movements here pay homage to the prequels when he was younger, and to what we would see in A New Hope when he faces off against Vader. The moments before the clash reveal that they are sizing each other up, so when they finally do strike, it's pretty much already over. Maul strikes with the same move that he had killed Qui-Gon with, but Kenobi counters it and quickly takes Maul down. And just like that, the duel is over. Over the years, Maul had been consumed by hatred. He had been blinded by it, all while his rival had been meditating. Kenobi had continued to epitomise everything good about the Jedi, and so, even as his enemy lay dying in his arms, he could not help but show mercy to him. He offers Maul hope.
Tell me, is it the chosen one?
He is.
He will avenge us.
Even as he dies, his thoughts are of vengeance. And so there you have it. That's pretty much everything that we know so far about Maul's life. How it began, how it ended. His encounters with the Sith, the Jedi, Death Watch, the Night Sisters, and of course the Rebellion. I do believe that in the future we will have some more gaps filled in, especially considering his time with Crimson Dawn. But in the meantime, you're all caught up. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and share it to educate your friends. This has been pretty complicated to make and it was quite time consuming, but overall I do think it was worth it. So if you do want to see more of this kind of content in the future, then please let me know in the comments below.